the Mile High City. And proof of that is the fact that Denver has sold out this stadium that seats 75,000 for the 75th consecutive night tonight. It's Monday Night Football as we look at Mark Mosley, who's a troubled Mark Mosley. We'll talk about that later during the course of the evening, having a difficult time with his field goal attempts. Dropping deep for the Denver Broncos, Larry Brunson, number 82, who led the entire National Football League a year ago in kickoff returns, but at that time he was an Oakland Raider. And the Oakland Raiders, Howard, has really given life to Denver with their knocking off of San Diego yesterday.
Turned the whole thing around. So did the Cleveland Browns, Frank, with their upsetting Seattle 27-3. So they're all in the chase.
Denver 3-2, and the 1-4 Redskins kickoff. This will be Mike Harden, the rookie from Michigan. And Harden spins and twists. He gets out to the 24-yard line, hit there by Mike Nelms. All right, let's meet the offense. We've already talked about Matt Robinson. He's had his problems in the early going. He'll be in there with Otis Armstrong, the leading rusher, number 24, and Jim Jensen, 30 for setbacks. Wide receivers, Haven Moses, Rick Upchurch. There is your offensive line for the Denver Broncos. Defensively, the Redskins move out on the field. They're a veteran team. That defensive line, they play mostly a 4-3. Averages 10 years in NFL experience. First play from Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. Robinson quickly out to Upchurch on the screen, and Upchurch turns it into yardage out close to the 29-yard line. Gain of about 7. As we meet the defensive unit, there they are. They've been around. They know this game. And they're troubled by the fact that they are 1-4. The linebackers in the middle. Neil Olkowitz came back last week. He performed admirably. He'd been missing because he'd been hurt. One of those injured Redskins. There's a secondary. 3 of them went to the Pro Bowl a year ago. They mark it for a 6-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 4. The ball inside the 29-yard line of the Denver Broncos. This is Otis Armstrong. Armstrong hit by Olkowitz as he comes up short of the first down by about 1.5 yards. It'll be 3rd down. Well, let's call it a long 2. Otis Armstrong getting a lot of action this year. Red Miller likes to substitute his running backs frequently, but 3 Denver Bronco running backs are injured. Larry Canada, he's on the injured reserve with a knee. Dave Preston, who was outstanding at the beginning of the season for the Broncos, he has a collapsed lung. He's out on the injured reserve. He suffered that 2 weeks ago. And John Keyworth is also on the injured reserve. Here's Otis Armstrong, the great All-American out of Purdue. Matt Robinson looking over the Washington defense. 3rd down and a long 2. Robinson to the air. Has the time. Good protection. He'll be able to pick up the first down easily on the sprint. Robinson inside Washington territory at the 47-yard line. Taken there by Rich Malott.
Now that's one of the assets that Red Miller saw in Robinson when he traded for him. Watch it again. Dandy's back up.
Boy, it's the altitude that'll get you. You're right, Howard. It's he wanted a more mobile quarterback, and I suppose maybe the people in the media have created a little bit, but Craig is not known for his mobility. Certainly Matt Robinson is, and that's a fine example of what he can do in minutes a long way from this thing.
Denver gave up a 1st and a 2nd-round draft pick to the New York Jets to get Matt Robinson. 1st and 10. 22-yard pickup by Robinson. Otis Armstrong pecking along the line of scrimmage. Gets inside the 45 to the 44. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. The Ponies, the Broncos. Oh, boy, I'll tell you, they get turned on by the football here in Denver. Ed Miller came in 77. Took them to the Super Bowl that very first year. Fred Gerke, the general manager, who assumed that role that same year, brought in Craig Morton. And they promptly went to the Super Bowl only to lose to Dallas. Playoffs in subsequent years, 78, and, of course, last year. 2nd down and 8. Robinson with a quick drop. Rick Upchurch short of the first down and nailed out there hard. Joe Lavender whistling up there from his defensive position, but Upchurch is inside the 40-yard line where it'll be 3rd down and another long 2. Rick Upchurch, who in previous years has alternated with the wide receivers, now going all the way for Denver out on the flank. Great speed, great moves. Robinson has not been able to find him as frequently as Craig Morton has, coming in relief.
There's Jack Pardee. Some feel, well, we'll get to that in a moment.
Perry Brooks comes in defensively for the Redskins, as he does on passing plays. But we get the run call. Armstrong with a big hole. A flag is down as Armstrong goes down to the 30-yard line, and that flag is down in an area which will usually indicate holding. Mark Murphy came up to make the stop for the Redskins. Referee tonight is Fred Wyant, talking it over with his able crew, and we'll get the call. Face mask, and it works against Washington.
Well, Dandy isn't up here after all.
Son of a gun. But I am up here. I'm right here, Howard. Who is that person?
We have a face mask, number 69, first down.
That was in the middle of the line where you would usually suspect there would be a holding call against an offensive team, but Perry Brooks, who came in defensively, was detected holding for Washington. The first down at the 25-yard line of the Washington Redskins. Rick Upchurch flanked out to the left, Haven Moses to the right, and Robinson will put it up. Fires intended for Upchurch. He makes a spectacular catch at the 9-yard line. The middleman out of Minnesota.
You can't talk enough about Rick Upchurch, a fourth-round draft choice out of Minnesota. He's been around a number of years now, and we isolate on him. He's a game breaker. It's that simple.
Yeah, well, we discussed up in New England why, they only threw 12 balls that night, and they didn't throw 3 of them until the very end of the game. But Rick is a guy that he can really break it open for you. You've got to get the ball to Upchurch.
Robinson looks over the Washington defense. First down and goal to go. A little over 4 minutes have expired in the first quarter as the handoff goes to Armstrong. He's piled up there defensively by the Redskins at the 7-yard line. A gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8. Dave Butts, number 65, at the bottom of that pile.
Robinson is engineering this drive expertly and confidently. And it's because he's shown the ability to do this that Red Miller will, as he told Don in the pregame interview, stick with him. He is the quarterback of the future. The ability is there.
2nd and goal, Robinson, splitting both wide receivers to the left. That's Moses and Upchurch. The tight end, bottom of your screen. Riley Odoms. Armstrong gets the call again. Big openings in the end zone. Denver on the scoreboard with the clock indicating just 5 minutes have elapsed here in the first quarter. A 9-play drive for the Denver Broncos. And
what a hole on the right side, too, Frank.
My gosh. Behind Claudy Minor, the big man.
All right, they're going over in the direction of course, big Riley Odoms there. Claudy Minor, number 71. Big Dave Studdard is in there, number 70. Big hole. Just swept. That's a hard one. They had a first down inside the 10, and we talked many times. That's a hard time to pick it up. They didn't waste much time.
Tom Glassy, offensive starting left guard, and the 62 for the Broncos, being assisted from the field as Fred Steinfort, who, unlike Mosley, is off on a sensational kicking here for the Broncos. And he puts it to the uprights. The Broncos on top, 7-0, using 5 minutes on a 77-yard drive. There is Otis. You're all right, my man. We'll be back. Beautiful, crystal clear Rocky Mountain nights. Temperature 68 degrees. The humidity, zilch. It's just a beautiful night for football here in Denver. And a festive crowd on hand. 75,000 plus, as they always are. Mike Nelm, deep with Washington Redskins. A free agent. Bobby Beathard, the personnel man for the Redskins. Found up in Ottawa. And an exceptional run-back man. Fred Steinfort picks it high. And he does get a foot into this one. Nelms thought that Ike Forte, recently activated, was going to take that ball. It went into the end zone, and very wisely, Nelms spots on it there for the touchback. So the Redskins will have the ball at their own 20-yard line. Theismann opening at quarterback. Wilbur Jackson, Clarence Harmon, the setbacks. Wide receivers, Thompson, McDaniel, Don Warren returning to really full-time action at the tight end, and he could give Joe Theismann a plus, particularly on third downs. Number 85, Don Warren, coming back after a broken fibula. Now we see Buddy Hardiman replacing Wilbur Jackson. Number 22, Buddy Hardiman. And this is Hardiman getting the call, and Hardiman out close to the 25-yard line for a pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5, and we'll meet the defense. There they are. That's, unfortunately, the Washington defense. We've already met them. I can tell you who they are, though. It's Reuben Carter, Barney Chavis, Rulon Jones. The Broncos starting a rookie tonight at that right defensive end. The reason they're doing that, they've had 4 sacks in 5 games. That's the fewest of any team in the National Football League. If they're going to get in the playoffs again this year, they're going to have to rectify that. So Bryson Manor will be watching a lot tonight while rookie Rulon Jones is in the lineup. Second down and 5. Getting the call is Wilbur Jackson now to the right side, and there's a bobble on the ball. Denver saying they were there, but no. There is a loss back to the 25. It'll be 3rd and 6.
All right, there is the defensive line. Now, Dandy asked Red Miller, was he going to use, as you look at the linebackers, was he going to go to the 4-3 tonight at all? And there are the defensive backs, and that's a good group. And Red said only occasionally. Occasionally, you'll see Rulon Jones move from the right side to the left side, where he played at Utah State, and a 4th guy will come in there. They need a pass rush.
At 4th man will be 66 Bryson Manor. We'll try and keep tabs on it. 3rd down and 6. Theismann back.
That was the
crowd. That was it. And tremendous pass pressure, and it was Greg Boyd coming in. Of the season for Denver, and they're congratulating themselves like they won the Super Bowl.
Well, they did put the 4 big defensive linemen down. They had a man over the center, but you're right. Actually, we didn't expect Greg Boyd to come in there. They told us something else, but he was the guy that came in and made the big sack.
You think they don't trust us?
They may not.
Mike Connell, he doesn't kick it far, and Rick Upchurch often returns it a great distance. He is the all-time NFL punt return leader, replacing the late Emlyn Tunnell last year in only his 5th year. He's something special. Connell hangs it high. It does not turn over. Upchurch at his 47. Looking for the picket. And just about squeezes it off, but he's nailed at the 47-yard line. 38-yard punt. Ike Forte down there defensively for the Redskins on the stop. We'll be back in Denver, Colorado right after this message. Ray Waddy, a second-year man out of Texas A&M, was shaken up for the Washington Redskins on that punt return by Denver. He's all right. Left the field under his own locomotion.
Texas A&M has had some pretty good players that have come.
A&M, Don. Did I say A&M?
I just was covering it real quick like that.
You're right. A&M does have a lot of good football players. 47-yard line of the Redskins. They went 77 yards in their first possession. They lead 7-0. Robinson. This one is picked off.
Oh, and is it ever?
Picked off there defensively by Paul Smith, who we knew would play a great deal. Neil Oklowitz hit the ball in the air, and Paul Smith, who played so many years, 11 years for the Denver Broncos, gets the interception, and you know he has to be happy.
I think this was an attempted screen pass, and he just drills Oklowitz right in the chest with this thing. You'll see blap, and it bounced right into Smith's hand. Not a well-thrown ball.
I'll tell you, the Redskins came in here with not too good of statistics on the year, but the one thing that they had been good at, in 5 games, they are the #1 team in the entire NFL in pass defense. You saw why a moment ago. They move around well. They're opportunistic, as are the Broncos. 1st and 10, Theismann from his own 43. Goes out to Bobby Hammond. And Hammond steps out of bounds down inside the 39-yard line, short of the first down by about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7. Bobby Hammond caught 7 last week. Washington Redskins going down to the Philadelphia Eagles. Came up as a free agent last year from the Giants. He was there with the Giants, 76, 77, 78. And in 77 was the Giants' total offensive leader. He's been seeing a lot of action. Clarence Harmon, 38. Bobby Hammond, 34. Those are your setbacks. Hammond actually in a wing back as Harmon is met at the line of scrimmage viciously. And he maybe to the line of scrimmage. He might lose a yard. We'll call it 3rd and 3. Reuben Carter at the bottom of that pile.
No matter how you slice it, the Redskins suffer offensively because of the loss of John Riggins. He's farming, I hope happily, in Kansas.
Well, he just hit 1 for 3 in a baseball game out there the other day. His only athletic activity, Howard, in an old-timers game. Picking up another score. 3rd down, we will call it 2. Ball inside the 34-yard line. Handoff. Jackson gets the call, or rather Clarence Harmon piled up close to a first down.
I don't know if he made the first down or not, but Denver, and Frank's given the record already, has been a premier team in this league for the last 3 or 4 years. And that team was featured by two things: very active linebackers, a swarming defense, those people all over the place, and by a notable short yardage defense. This year, those qualities have suffered because of injuries to the linebackers, Swenson and Rizzo. And as we look at the measurement, nope, they're short. The short yardage defense just showed what it could do, holding for 2 downs.
It will be 4th down, and the punting team stays on the bench. The ball at the 32-yard line of the Broncos. It could be a ruse. They might try to draw the penalty, but the long count, we'll wait and see. But when you're 1 and 4, chasing Philadelphia and Dallas, on 4th and short inside the 35 of the enemy, you go for it. Theismann following Jeff Williams on the right side.
I think clearly he got it, Giff. Don't you, Don?
Yeah, it appeared to me he did.
Picking up on, excuse me, Don, picking up what you said, Howard. The man out there playing football tonight, number 53, Randy Gradishar, is in, I can tell you the kind of pain he's in. He has torn rib cartilage. He's wearing a flak jacket designed by a now famous Houston man named Brian Donzis. But a flak jacket only protects you against the blow. The torn rib cartilage, and any football player that's ever had one will tell you, is the most painful thing that you can have. He heard it last week against Cleveland. Washington gets the 1st down. Play action by Theismann. Goes off to Wilbur Jackson. Jackson met at the 28-yard line. Good defensive play. Tommy Jackson was there, and Bill Thompson.
Let's take a look, Don, at the vest that he's wearing. We're going to get a look at it. There it is. And there are little air holes, just a matter of very short distance apart. Net, when you smack that, the blow is not felt. The shock is absorbed proportionately throughout the entire body because of the air holes.
So delighted they've got those sorts of things today. I think Frank did make a good point. And those got those rib cartilages that are torn. It just hurts to twist and move.
There is a gain of 2 by Jackson on that completion. This is Wilbur Jackson getting the ball again, and Jackson will have a 1st down inside the 20. Down around the 15-yard line goes Wilbur Jackson. Jackson, of course, acquired by the Washington Redskins when John Riggins was placed on officially as retired left camp from the 49ers.
You'll see Gradishar, number 53, plug into the middle. He didn't quite get to the outside in time. These linebackers try to key. On a 3-man front, so important, as Howard mentioned, for those linebackers to swarm. And when they've got the new guys in there, I've seen a couple of times tonight, for example, Nairn is not known for his pass defense as much as he is against the run. That time, Jackson was a little bit late getting over, as was Gradishar.
1st and 10. Ball inside the 15-yard line. Handoff, Buddy Hardiman. Hardiman is met by Reuben Carter first, and then number 53, Randy Gradishar.
And there's Bob Nairn in there, too. Rob Nairn. We saw him up in New England, and he's the guy that filled in. He was in place of Swenson, and talking to some of the coaches, they're really pleased with Nairn. He's the guy that you can see only 4 years of experience, but doing a good job for him.
He does the job, but not like Swenson. I think that Red Miller, most of the Broncos will tell you that next to Gradishar, Swenson is the most valuable player on that defensive Bronco defensive unit. He has a broken arm. He's been out all season. They don't know when he'll be back. 2nd down and 10. Theismann quickly out to Art Monk, the rookie out of Syracuse, and Monk is piled up down around the 10-yard line. They'll mark it close to the 11. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Not a bad play at all. You've seen that play work so many times through the years. You try to get it out to your young speedster, or any speedster, young or old, and just hope he can break one tackle or pick up one good block, and he can go. And
well, it's especially good to use that play with a receiver like Monk, who has the ability and is in the same mold as we said the opening night of Monday Night Football in Washington to be another Charlie Tell.
All right. Theismann obviously going to put the ball in the air. Actually, it's a 3rd down and 7. Back goes Joe Theismann. In trouble. Oh, yeah. There's the man. It's Clarence Harmon, and Clarence Harmon will be short of the 1st down. Down around the 6-yard line.
Really a terrific reaction job by Theismann that time. He was pressured, tried to roll out. It's one of those instinctive things, and lucky for him, he happened to have Harmon there. You see, once again, you're getting some pretty good pressure tonight, coming right up through the middle. Looking pretty, had Reuben Carter in there. He rolled out, and Harmon into the inside, picked up almost a first down, but it does bring on fourth.
And you saw that extra dimension that Theismann adds to the offense. Good scrambler. Now we see Mark Mosley. He's only 2 of 10 on the season. Theismann, of course, holding. And he has missed as many this year as he missed all last year already. And that must feel good for Mark Mosley. The Redskins are on the scoreboard with 2:44 remaining here in the first quarter. They trail the Denver Broncos 7-3. A must game, really, for both of these clubs. Looking out of the kickoff units for both teams. We'll watch the kickoff from behind the Washington Redskins. Mark Mosley setting the ball up at the 35-yard line. Larry Brunson is deep, standing near the goal line of the Denver Broncos, expecting, as we usually get from Mark Mosley, a very high kick. The Redskins very well drilled on all of their special teams, particularly against kicks, both punting and kickoff. Mosley rips one that drives Brunson into the end zone, but he'll bring it out. And out over the 15 to the 17, Mike Nelms hit Brunson there, and Denver's offensive unit trots onto the field. Denver Broncos, they lost their opener. They were stunned by Philadelphia 27-6. They came back to beat Dallas 41-20. They lost to San Diego. They lost to New England. They came back narrowly, pulling out a game a week ago against the Cleveland Browns. They are 3-2 on the year, chasing San Diego, which is 4-2. A win tonight, and they will be right there with San Diego. Armstrong piled up. Carl Lorch in there defensively, number 71.
Let's see how conservative Robinson gets now. He was hot in the beginning, Don. Then he was quickly intercepted. That gave Washington the field goal that puts him right back in the thick of things. Let's see if he goes conservative.
Second down and 9. Ball right at the 18-yard line. Hand off, Armstrong once again. Armstrong piled up there, big number 65. Butts on top, followed by big number 71, Carl Lorch.
That's Craig Morton, always watching and always ready. But that was a big second down pickup on the ground.
That's a fairly conservative call in response to your question. I mean, you're talking about an inside trap with a second down and a long 9. I've yet to really see him establish what I don't know what they're really trying to do with Matt Robinson. Whether they're trying to make him a running quarterback or ball control.
There was a gain of 6, third down and 4. Robinson, again, he has the protection. Going deep. And incomplete as he tries to hit Armstrong coming out of the backfield. Rich Malott obviously recovered from his preseason injury. He was back there defensively.
Well, he's the second-year man from Penn State. He played outside linebacker at Penn State. Now they're trying to develop him in the middle because they had injuries in the middle. Olkewicz was out for a while. But Malott, together with Monty Coleman, whom I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of tonight, and Olkewicz are the 3 young linebackers we have told you about. They are terrific.
Nelms is deep for Washington. Prestridge kicks away. It does not turn over. It'll be a short kick. And Nelms takes at the 42-yard line. The Redskins will have good field position following a weak punt of 34 yards by Luke Prestridge. A little more than a minute remaining here in the first quarter. The Broncos leading the Redskins 7-3. The emblem of the Denver Broncos.
There for a minute, I thought it could have been Peruna at SMU. But there's for a minute I didn't, not for long.
Down over the field as Washington comes up. A first and 10. The ball is thrown 43-yard line. Bill Theismann on first and 10. Quickly to the air. He goes out to Art Monk, and the rookie number 1 draft pick from Syracuse hurries ahead out close to the 49-yard line, taken there by Steve Foley. A gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. Art Monk had a great career at Syracuse. Set all the passing records up there. About 102 of them. He's also a running back. Gained over 1,100 yards rushing. And he made a little bit of history, Howard, with becoming the Washington Redskins' first number 1 draft pick in about a decade.
Yeah, Harvard would.
Second down and 4. Ball resting right at the 49-yard line. A quick toss to Wilbur Jackson. Jackson spins out of the midfield, hit there by Rob Nairn.
He did a good job.
Midfield, it'll be 2nd and 2.
You're right, Don. Nairn plays the run very well. They had that play strung out from the very beginning.
Yeah, he kept his feet. I don't know. I guess it's a whole different technique, but the thing that the coaches are concerned about, that he doesn't cover that outside zone on the pass defense. But as far as run's concerned, they seem to be really pleased with it.
3rd down and a long 2 for the Washington Redskins, and time has expired here in the first quarter of crisp football game. The Broncos and the Redskins will be back. Cheerleaders.
Oh, yeah. Nice, cute little gals from high schools in this general area. Frank, the Pony Express, which was Denver's answer to a lot of the cheerleaders, no longer exists for several reasons,
which we will not get into.
No.
3rd down, long 2, and Theismann will put it in the air. Fire, and it's incomplete. The man was there, Randy Gradishar. It'll be 4th down. Washington will punt, intended for Bobby Heyman. Lemon incomplete. Let's take a look at the first quarter stats.
Well, Denver had the edge in rushing. Denver with a mild edge in passing yards. Denver with a decent enough edge in total yards, but time of possession favored Washington.
Mike Connell comes out for the Redskins. Mike Connell didn't kick last year, out of football, cut by the 49ers at the end of the pre a year ago. After having kicked for a year, Rick Upchurch is deep for the Broncos. He indicates a fair catch at the 15 and makes it at the 15. So Denver will start deep in their own territory on a 34-yard punt by Mike Connell. I mentioned John Keyworth being on the injured reserve, and I would just like to express our sympathies to both John and Kerry Keyworth, the fine Denver running back who lost their son Scott recently. He died of sudden infant death syndrome. And of course, Governor Lamb here in Colorado has proclaimed October as SIDS month for the study, the research, the raising of funds to try and stop this terribly crippling disease. And Howard, by the way, will be honored at the first dinner November the 22nd in Baltimore, as the funds will be attempted to raise attention call to that dreaded disease. Our sympathies to John and Kerry. This is Otis Armstrong on 1st and 10. And Armstrong moves out over the 15 to the 17-yard line. A gain of 2. It'll be 2nd down and 8. Armstrong now 32 yards on 8 attempts.
There is no way, Frank, to describe the shock, the horror, or to recover from the sudden infant death in the crib. And these are very dedicated people, determined to wipe it out.
2nd down and 8. Robinson back. Lots of time. He's had it all night. Going deep for Haven Moses, and Robinson throwing it away. And I tell you, one of the great cornerbacks in football was back there all over Haven Moses. Number 24, Lamar Parrish. One of the 3 men on this Washington secondary unit that went to the Pro Bowl a year ago. Of course, he came from Cincinnati with Coy Bacon in 78 for a first-round draft pick, and the Redskins have not been sorry about that, as Coy Bacon also plays good football.
That's good defensive coverage, you're right. But Matt sure not going to take any chances of interception. He missed them both about 12 yards.
3rd down, 8. Ball inside the 18-yard line. Denver in possession. They have the lead, 7-3. Over the middle is complete to Jensen, and Jensen, the big man, has the first down out close to the 30-yard line, taken there by Monty Coleman, number 51. And tonight, the Redskins are playing without Ken Houston, one of the other Pro Bowlers. We don't know why. We were not informed if there was something wrong with Kenny Houston. But Tony Peters is back there, number 23. Peters came from Cleveland last year.
I don't think there's anything wrong with him, Frank. I was talking to him before the game. He said everybody was healthy.
1st and 10. Handoff is Jensen, the former Dallas Cowboy, out of the 30-yard line. Taken out of bounds at the 32-yard line by Brad Ducey.
There's Randy Gradishar. It may be that Kenny has reached the point in his career where you don't lose a lot by putting in Peters. I know Bobby Bethard, the general manager who acquired Peters last year, thinks he is a tremendous ball player and got him just for the purpose of succeeding Kenny, who is not that young anymore.
Following a gain of 3, it'll be second down and 7 as the ball is marked at the 33-yard line of Denver. Inside handoff. Otis Armstrong finds a big hole and a big opening, and he sprints into Washington territory at the 49-yard line. Mark Murphy made the stop in. Otis Armstrong playing full-time now, getting full-time duty. He's rid of those nagging injuries that plagued him for so many years, and he really finds an opening, Don.
Good lead block in there by Tom Glassick, number 62. When we saw the Cowboys play the Redskins early in the year, Darren Talbot was not the starting defensive tackle. Terry Brooks was. Since then, they replaced Talbot back in the middle.
Armstrong gets the first down inside the 49-yard line of the Redskins. This is Armstrong again. Stacked up there. Carl Lorch in there defensively along with Dave Butts, 65.
Butts did a good job of covering that time. That is just talking about Darren, and I saw he made a quick charge. They did a quick trap on Darren and went inside of him, but he had good help from the inside from Dave Butts, the other defensive tackle. He closed it down for him, picked up 2 or 3.
It'll be a second down and 8. Passing defensive unit comes in for the Redskins. Monty Coleman with the speed, a linebacker, number 51. Joe Jones with the good pass rush, 77. And Rich Malott with the good drop for middle linebacker. Robinson.
My gosh.
One that should have been picked off.
Golly, golly, golly.
You keep looking at that kid, folks. We said you'd see a lot of him tonight. He is the best athlete all around on the Redskins.
He may block a punt for the Knights over, too. And when Denver kicked earlier, Monty Coleman was so close, and I think he was surprised that he got in as quickly and as clean as he did. So I bet he learned something on that last punt. We may see him go for it before the night's over.
Monty Coleman. And did they get him, Chief, a year ago? 11th round draft pick out of Central Arkansas, number 51. Third down and 8. Haven Moses, slip to the right, look up, Church to the left. Robinson again, into the pocket, and this time, moving around, the block was Coy Bacon, knocking the ball free.
That would have been a fumble, I believe. They're going to call the ball dead right there, Coy almost did it. I get back there so fast, I tell the quarterbacks where to set up. That's what Coy Bacon says. This time he's right. He slipped it right around Stoddard. Came back in the inside, and that ball was knocked down before his arm
started forward.
Right.
On fourth down, we'll see Luke Prestridge, the punter for Denver. Mike Nelms stationed at the 10-yard line for the Redskins. Prestridge tries to catch the corner. Nelms takes it on a fair catch call on the 5-yard line, and I don't know if he wouldn't have been better advised to see if that ball would have gone into the end zone, because the Redskins are deep in their own territory. Mike Nelms, a veteran punt returner from the Canadian League, takes it at the 5. We'll be back.
2 of the elder statesmen, Coy Bacon, next to him, Darren Talbot. Oh, heavens, Don, the beard has gone gray.
I think he's tinted it. He's on his way to Hollywood. Yeah, it's highlights in his beard, he calls it.
They have 27 years in NFL play between them.
You're not going to fool them too often, are you?
First and 10, the Redskins, their own 5-yard line. They're down 7-3 to the Denver Broncos. Buddy Hardiman gets the call. He's piled up at the line of scrimmage. Bang, that's it. And quickly, as we were looking down from our booth here at Mile High Stadium, we saw the offensive guard for the Denver Broncos. So a moment ago, you saw a spring open a big hole for Otis Armstrong. Tom Glassick being assisted from the field into the locker room. The ball at the 6-yard line. Second down and 9.
The Broncos have got 10 guys on injured reserve right now. They've not had a very good year injury-wise.
Robert Jackson and Buddy Hardiman in there. Setbacks. Theismann fleds back to the right and goes for the air. Good move. Jackson, a beautiful hole, and Jackson moved out over the 20 to the 21-yard line. First down, Washington. Good shot by Theismann.
There is the great value of Wilbur Jackson, the young man from Alabama. He is a much better runner than his statistics suggest, but he is great coming out of the backfield. Received over 50 last year, Frank, if you'll remember.
He did. He made what quarterbacks love to see, and that's an adjustment. His pattern called for him to continue to the outside. He looked back, read the defensive drop of the linebackers, just pulled up short and stayed right there in the hole.
With the 49ers a year ago, Wilbur Jackson caught 53 there. They gave up 2 number 2 picks to Getty. Dives into the air on first down again. Going through the tight end, Don Warren. As we mentioned at the top of the telecast, Warren coming off a fractured fibula, and he could be a plus for the Redskins. They need that big man on third situations.
Quite a hit by Maurice Harvey.
That's right.
Maurice Harvey, the free safety for the Denver Broncos, in tonight because Bernard Jackson is one of those injured players Don spoke of a moment ago. Bernard Jackson on the injured reserve list with a deep thigh bruise. And Maurice Harvey, number 27, is in there at free safety. Bobby Hammond, 34, comes in with number 38, Clarence Harmon, a setback. And this is Harmon.
Good play.
And the Redskins beginning to work on the defensive unit of the Denver Broncos as Harmon explodes out of the 30 to the 31, short of the first by about a yard.
It's kind of an unusual play that time. It's a, I don't know what they really call it, but it'd be a delayed draw to the outside. You see most of the draw plays have come back up the middle. Theismann had a chance to give those linebackers a quick little pass look, move to his right, drop the ball to his fullback, and the play was set up on the outside.
I said it was short by about a yard. The sticks are coming out as they have marked the ball just out over the 36-yard line, and it will be first down Washington. Clarence Harmon.
2 good tough first downs for the Redskins. They were really in the hole down there after that fair catch after the punt put them right around the 5.
They're crazies everywhere.
That's not Euchre, is it?
No, but he's around all the time the way Euchre is.
So first down Washington. They started at their own 5-yard line after Mike Young called for a fair catch at the 5. That's Don Warren, the tight end, number 85, adjusting. Buddy Hardiman.
Good play.
Hardiman taken there. Good tackle. Rob Nairn fought off the block. Ray moved in, and Nairn is really taking up the slack with Bob Swinson out of there.
A really good example of him playing off that block because that was in pretty good position. That's Wilbur Jackson up there blocking on him, and Wilbur gave him a pretty good shot, but again, he kept his feet. He's just a big, strong kid that really does play that run well.
A loss of a couple. It'll be second down and 12.
I like that kid.
Yeah, I do too. I really do. I try to keep an eye on him up in New England.
He looked real good then.
Yeah, he did.
One of those walk-ons, if you will, a free agent for the Broncos in 77. The Broncos now into a 4-man rush. Theismann feels the pressure, but slips out of the pocket. Chased by Reuben Carter, but not until he moves out to about the 33-yard line, where it'll be third down and about 9.
And what he saw Tommy Jackson, he went down in a hurry. He's learned, I'll tell you.
What really happened, Reuben Carter slipped that time. He didn't have a good rush, and what really happened, had he had a rush that he was intending, he'd have been too far upfield to drop back off and pick up Theismann, but this is on the regular turf tonight, not an artificial surface, so you're going to see a little bit more slipping.
Big play for the Redskins. They have failed thus far this season on many third and long situations. They have a third down and 8. To keep the drive alive, they must get 8 yards. Theismann hit Art Monk, and he did not hold on. He would have had the first. Defensively, Louis Wright, number 20, and Bill Thompson were in there for the Broncos.
You're right, Frankie. Had he caught on, it would have been a first. Pretty good defensive coverage, though. The receivers will tell you there's a lot of folks around out there. You'll see those hands swinging in front of you. He knows that Louis Wright's pretty close. Sees Thompson coming in from the inside. It was a catchable ball, but it would have been a pretty good catch had he made it.
Mike Connell will punt for the Redskins. Rick Upchurch, a man who has returned 6 punts in his 5-year and 5-game career for touchdowns. He is dangerous. Great speed, good moves, absolutely fearless. Connell perhaps hits a career punt, hangs it really high. Upchurch takes it up to 23. Look out!
Oh, ho, ho!
Upchurch. Oh, and the crowd comes to their feet. They love to see this man with the football out to the 47-yard line.
It's amazing what he can do for a team. Changing its field position instantly, putting them in a position to strike. You've seen him do it ever since he came into the league.
The acceleration just right there seems to jump away. He actually runs into one of his own men, Steve Watson, right there, number 81. Everybody's trying to do it. Heck of a return.
Rick Upchurch did not hurt his career average of 12.5 on that return. We'll be back. at Mile High Stadium, Denver, Colorado. 7:02 remaining in the half. The Broncos on top over the Washington Redskins, 7-3. 24-yard punt return by Upchurch for the Broncos. The Broncos have the football, their own 47-yard line. Robinson to the air. Upchurch is there, but he was also covered by Joe Lavender, number 20 for the Washington Redskins. The Broncos 2-3. They're chasing San Diego 4-2 in this tough Western division of the AFC. Oakland, of course, with their win, and what a convincing win it was over San Diego yesterday. They look like the Oakland Raiders of old, and they are 3-3. Denver can move into a tie with Oakland and Seattle with a win tonight, and I'll tell you, I was really happy to see Jim Plunkett yesterday. Sorry that he had to get in there because of the injury to Dan Pastorini, but Plunkett was terrific against San Diego yesterday, as was that Oakland defense. On 2nd and 10. Screen pass. It goes to Jim Jensen. Jim Jensen over midfield to the 48-yard line. Hit there by Monty Coleman defensively after a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And speaking of Oakland, we'll have them next Monday night against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That should be some football game. Third down and 6. And marked it at the 48-yard line. Washington brings in their defensive pass alignment. 5 men in the secondary, and of course the big man who plays like a man in the secondary, linebacker Monty Coleman. Robinson feels the pressure, steps into the pocket, and underthrows Steve Watson. It'll be 4th down.
Either that or overthrew Riley Odom.
Odoms complained that he was checked illegally by a defender, which is why you saw Odoms pointing his arm.
Did you mention in the top of the show that Odoms has a broken bone in his shoulder? Did you guys talk about that?
We did not, but he is playing with a chip bone in his shoulder.
I don't understand that.
They may be leading the league in injuries, the Broncos.
Well, you know, Riley played all last year, or he played quite a bit last year with a broken arm.
Mike Nelms, he knew that he had made a mistake with that fair catch at the 5 a few minutes ago. We will not see that again. This time, Prestridge again angles for the corner. And he'll catch it somewhere inside the 15-yard line, down around the 12. And this really what Nelms was trying to guard against a few moments ago when he there caught the ball at the 5-yard line. Prestridge is noted for his accuracy getting it out of bounds. We'll be back in a moment. Otis Armstrong came in tonight leading the Broncos in rushing with 199 yards. He hasn't hurt himself with 54 as we pan the Denver Bronco bench. 3 consecutive years in the playoffs.
They were asking Red early this season, says, you know, how about that running game? He says, what running game? They've been a little slow getting it going.
Redskins start from their 12-yard line. 5:56 remaining in the half. The Redskins down by 4. They trail 7-3. Theismann hands off to Wilbur Jackson, and Jackson is met by nose guard Reuben Carter, number 68.
That's Reuben. They have 2 of them from Miami, Carter and Latimer, and they can play.
There they are. Reuben Carter often gives way to Latimer, third-year man out of Miami, on the passing situation. There's an all-pro, Louis Wright, the cornerback for the Denver Broncos. Craig Morton has stepped behind the Denver Bronco bench. He's either trying to warm the body or warm the arm. We don't know whether he's going to get a call or not. 2nd down and 10. Theismann. Play action.
Good defensive play right there.
Theismann dumps the ball off wisely in the direction of number 22, Buddy Hardiman. And Denver is saying no, but Hardiman was there. So the man who came from Canada in 74 dumped the ball off. It does not hurt the Redskins.
This is Larry Evans that you'll see come blitzing through here. He had a he zeroed in on Joe. Joe's a good athlete. We've mentioned many times. Maybe a little faster than Larry thought. Pulled him out. Wait a minute. What is happening here?
They're calling a sack. I think the quick whistle that we now see in pro football, that, of course, to preserve the quarterbacks. They're calling that a sack on Theismann. The ball is back at the 3-yard line.
Well, it didn't preserve it too much because he threw him out of bounds after he got it.
Once that defender gets his hands on the quarterback, they blow that whistle.
That's the way they do it in Houston.
3rd and 19. Bobby Hammond gets out over the 10-yard line to the 11-yard line. And officially from the NFL official here in the booth. It was a sack. Heisman in the arms. One of the defenders, they gave us the whistle.
We got several players who played in Canada here tonight. Nelms did, as Frank mentioned. Heisman did. There's a great one playing up there now, and Bruce Clark out of Penn State, a great player. I'll add to that in a moment.
Upchurch at midfield. Mike Connell for the Redskins will kick from approximately his goal line. And he gets off a beautiful putt. Connell really banged this one. Upchurch back to his 37. And down he goes. Ike Forte hustling down there for the Redskins, dropping Upchurch at the 35-yard line. That was a 57-yard pressure punt by Mike Connell. 3:55 remaining in the half. Denver 7, Washington 3. Don Meredith's old teammate from the Dallas Cowboys has come into the lineup for the Denver Broncos. He has played the backup role, coming in for Matt Robinson twice this season. Last week against Cleveland, he was 9 of 12. Moved the Broncos well, setting up field goals for Steinfort. The Broncos coming away with a 1916 victory. So Morton, with a career average of over 52%, takes the helm for the Broncos in his 16th season. Inside handoff. Jensen gets the call, and Jensen just pulls forward to the 42-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be second down and 2.
Wasn't that a beautiful fake by Craig?
But it was. I was interested, you know, because Craig is a senior citizen here in this group, and he and Matt are good pals, and he's really working with Matt. But the coaches say it's just something when he goes into the game, the other players have a way to kind of just rally around, and they seem to make things happen, and I think that's exactly why he put him in there. We got to have something happen. He needs more points.
With a second down and 2. Otis Armstrong. Armstrong scampering for additional yardage out to the 49, gets the first down.
He's on his way to a 100-yard night tonight, perhaps. But the way he's running, he can do it.
There's a man, 1974, that replaced O.J. Simpson in his second year with over 1,400 yards, leading the entire NFL. He had another 1,000-yard season. Constant nagging injuries have troubled Otis Armstrong in his 8-year career. But when he's right and healthy, he's as good as you can get.
Yeah, he and Floyd Little are the all-time runners up here.
First down, 10. Denver with the ball at their own 49, and Morton at quarterback.
Who said he couldn't run?
Morton.
Who said he couldn't run?
Shuffling down to the 46-yard line. Oh, don't laugh, guys.
I'm not. I'm proud of it.
Carl Lorch takes it. Hey, you've been banged around like Morton has for 16 years. You'd run a little.
You better believe it. I would think, though, after 16 years, he would have chosen the sideline that was closest to it. Now, again, you know, we've talked, he's just kind of tiptoeing out there, said, please, somebody break open. When Carl Larch catches you from the back, you know that running is not your forte.
And Craig Morton is going to let the seconds tick off the clock to the 2-minute warning, and he'll move over to the Denver bench. As defensively, Mark Murphy will move over to the Washington bench for the Redskins. Okay, we'll be back at Mile High Stadium in just a moment. Denver 7, Washington 3. Frank Gifford along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith, Denver, Colorado. The Denver Broncos have changed quarterbacks. Craig Morton, who came up 1965, number 1 draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys, performed there for so many years before going to the Giants and coming to the Broncos only 3 years ago. He's had the Broncos in the playoff 3 consecutive years. He's looking over a second down and 5. The ball at the 47-yard line of the Redskins. This is Rob Lytle. And Lytle, the former Michigan All-American, moves to the 43. A gain of a couple. It'll be third down and 2. Brad Dusick, 59. Neil Okowitz, 52. The linebacker for the Skins on the stop.
Lytle is not healthy either. He's just coming back, and he's coming back tentatively. But you could see Miller's thinking, Frank, when he took Robinson out. There's Rob. He just wants to get something on the board, something more before the end of the half, and he had the conviction that Robinson couldn't do it.
3 timeouts remain for Denver. Seconds ticking away. 1:25. Third down and 2. Rick Upchurch, the favorite receiver of Craig Morton, is in the ball game. And Morton has used too much time.
Well, that's really almost inexcusable because you've got this, you're in a 2-minute offense and you're the one trying to save the time. I think that the delay came when Keyworth came in rather late from the bench.
You know, as you know, Don, it takes a little longer to call an offensive pass pattern. You have to set formations, and say things you don't have to say in a run. Here's the call by referee Fred Wyant, but it will be delay a game.
False start, offense.
And also false start.
Well, I'd rather see a false start then than I had a delay of the game.
Well, the
Let's call it
30-second
that.
clock had expired.
Okay.
Indeed, it had.
Okay.
3rd down and 8. But it does take longer when you send those plays in from the bench to call the pass pattern. Moses in motion. And Morton to the air. Morton. There you go. Up to Jensen. And Jensen kills the clock with a first down at the 36-yard line. Monty Coleman hustling out there for Washington defensively.
This is just what Miller wanted. They're moving it to field goal range with a long-range kicker like Steinfort.
Well, they believe in Steinfort. We saw him on a fair catch with a free kick attempt up in New England. They let him try from 73 yards out.
He missed it.
He missed by 40, but it was impressive.
It goes down the book. He tried one.
1:08 remaining, and Denver has 3 timeouts. They also have the lead, 7-3. Remind you, interesting halftime activities that Don Meredith goes out with the tailgaters here in Denver. Here comes Rob Leiter, right side. And obviously, Denver trying to get into field goal position. And they quickly call timeout with 1:02. 1:02 remaining here in the first half. And Morton once again will amble over to the sidelines to visit with Red Miller. And we would like to bring you this message from the National Football League. Festive attitude here in Denver as the Broncos have the football, trying to get within range of the foot of Fred Steinfort. He has already kicked one this year, 55 yards against the Cowboys. Craig Morton brings the Broncos up at their own, at the 38-yard line of the Redskins, 2nd down 7. Morton is sacked, and that's what you have to worry about with Morton in there is Big Dave Butts, all 6'7", 285 pounds of him, pounces on Craig Morton, and that moves them back to the 39-yard line. We're inside 1 minute, and the seconds are ticking away. Morton has the 2 timeouts, but he'd like to kill the clock right now with a passing attempt. Morton throws the ball low, but it's almost taken there by Ron Egloff, who was in there for Riley Odoms, and you know if Riley Odoms was really healthy, they'd have him in there.
They're bringing him out now.
We told you they have a lot of faith in Steinfort. The holder, by the way, in case you're interested in any kind of trickery, is quarterback Matt Robinson.
We're all interested in trickery.
Yes, trickery adds spice to the game.
Yes.
Steinfort, he is 10 of 12. He had one blocked, and he missed from 73 yards. It's a 57-yard attempt. Oh, he has drilled it through the uprights.
I'll be darned. That thing never got 20 yards off the ground.
Fred Steinfort kicked 155 against Dallas. He has just punched 157 yards. And this stadium, 75,000 fans on their feet. Ovation for Fred Steinfort.
And justly so. What a kick. A nice kick. Even in the high air, the thin air, as they say.
So Morton, even with the sack, had moved them far enough for Steinfort's foot, and Red Miller got what he wanted. A little more protection anyway.
The drama of football as it affects personnel. Jim Bake Turner, 16 years in the league, came back this year, had a little bit of trouble with management, and Turner, who is second only to George Blanda in the history of the NFL in scoring, was replaced by Fred Steinfort, who has been absolutely brilliant.
Steinfort is the one that replaced George Blanda at Oakland.
Steinfort has traveled.
The giant killer, they call him here, as his teammates do.
There's Mike Nelms as Steinfort sets up the kickoff. That, of course, a new Denver record by far, 57 yards by Steinfort. You can see the huge foot that Steinfort has. He bangs Nelms to the back of the end zone, and Nelms will have to stay, touch back. They'll bring it out to the 20 with 40 seconds remaining in the half. Fred Steinfort. He one time kicked 155 yards in Boston College. Boom, boom. Oh, he gets everything into it.
He really does. And that's putting it all together. That's the advantage of the sidewinder, I'm told, because he can get his entire body in it, where the straight-on kickers have a tendency to mainly just use a good, strong leg.
Ed Steinford started in Atlanta, went to Oakland, now with the Broncos. Handoff, Clarence Harmon on first down. Tom Jackson over there defensively as Clarence Harmon goes up to the 23-yard line.
Well, that's be interesting if they run out the clock.
They have called 2 plays in the huddle, so apparently you would think their intention was to try and get into field goal position. And Clarence Harmon hit again by Jackson, taken out of bounds, stopping the clock with 13 seconds. Maurice Harvey also up there defensively for the Broncos. First down, Redskins. Redskins have their 3 timeouts, but they only have 13 seconds on the clock. Denver with a 10-3 lead. Denver trying to stay abreast of San Diego, Oakland, and Seattle in the race here in the Western Division of the AFC. San Diego with a 4-2 mark. Oakland is 3-3. Seattle 3-3. Denver, as of the moment, 2-3. And off is Bobby Hammond, and Hammond out to the 40-yard line. Clock stopped now with 7 seconds by the Redskins, Bill Theismann.
Really think they were trying to run out the clock, but they kept making too much yardage.
So timeout out on the field.
There he goes. The young man who began in Canada, was drafted by Miami, ultimately came down to play here, playing in Washington and doing very well. I'd mentioned earlier that one of the greatest college players of last year, Bruce Clark of Penn State, is playing in Canada, and he is playing very, very well. He is a superstar. And we mentioned during the Hall of Fame game some time back that Bruce Clark was represented by Michael Trope. We had been misinformed at the time. Mike Trope is not Bruce Clark's agent. A gentleman named Bennett is. Wanted to set the record straight on that matter. Canada can turn them out. I'll say that, Frank. We've seen a number.
I think Joey was just a little disappointed when he was not taken first round, when he came out with all those great credentials from Notre Dame. Missed the Heisman Trophy award there, of course. Went up 3 years at Toronto. As you said, Howard, drafted by Miami. The Redskins gave up the #1 draft pick for the rights to him. And he became a full-time starter only a year ago on 2nd and 1. Theismann spins out of the arms of Latimer. Throws an incompletion in the direction of Hardeman, and time expires here in the first half. So the Redskins trail the Denver Broncos 10-3. We'll be back at halftime features after a message and a word from our stations. Bronco coach Red Miller wasted little time tonight, replacing Matt Robinson, a young quarterback, for the veteran Craig Morton. Craig Morton coming in at the end of the second quarter was 1 for 2, 13 yards, had 1 sack against him, and turned in a scintillating 5-yard sprint. Set to go now, Fred Steinford, who hit a 57-yard field goal to extend Denver's lead, will kick off. Mike Nelms is deep for the Washington Redskins. From the goal line, Mike Nelms. And Nelms finds a little daylight and moves out to the 25-yard line, and a flag is down.
I think could be on Bostic. If it is, that was the second block that Bostic had on that return. I mean, he leveled, I believe, his defensive tackle short.
We saw the preliminary call by our referee tonight, Fred Wyatt. Clipping being marked off against the Redskins. They'll start deep in their own territory again. Ball at the 13. Here's the call.
We have clipping, number 53, first down.
You're right, Don. The rookie from Clemson.
He got so excited. He got one of the better head-on blocks that I've seen. He got so excited with that block, he jumped up, hit somebody else, and then turned around.
Here we go. Start the second half. The Redskins are down 10-3. Heisman hands off to Wilbur Jackson. Jackson out over the 15 to the 17. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 as we look at the stats for the first half. Denver on top, as I said, 10-3. They have the bulk of the yardage, 131 yards. Denver took the opening kickoff, went 77 yards for a touchdown. 2nd down, 7. Ball at the 17-yard line of the Redskins. Theismann goes back from the pattern. His wide receiver was not open, Art Monk, so he tries to dump it off to Jackson. Incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 7.
And I see, is that the tight end he's leaving back in the backfield with him, or the 3-man set back there? That's kind of unusual.
Well, they are in and out of that because Don Warren, as we mentioned earlier in the game, had that broken fibula. He really is not 100%, but he has been playing considerable time for the Redskins. Theismann now 7-11 for 42 yards. 3rd and 7. Up on top goes Theismann. Fires over the middle, is complete to Don Warren. He has the first down out of the 25-yard line. Don Warren, a second-year man out of San Diego State. That's one position where the Redskins have been hurt. They've been hurt so badly by injuries, and that would be a big part of why they are 1-4, trailing Philadelphia, which is 5-1, and Dallas 5-1. They've been hurt at this tight end. They lost Phil Du Bois. He's on the injured reserve. Don Warren was out.
Glenn Hyde is practicing.
Well, he having it filled in for Classic. Broken hand earlier, so he's just...
Theismann goes to Harmon, and Harmon breaks the tackle and gets additional yardage out to the 33-yard line. A gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Clarence Harmon, he's suffering also. He missed last week with an ankle injury. The Redskins are just put together with adhesive tape and Band-Aids.
Hey, they're running the type of offense that you'd really expect Denver to run under Matt Robinson's leadership.
2nd down and 2. Clarence Harmon following Wilbur Jackson. And Harmon out over the 35-yard line, getting the first down at the 36, taken there by Steve Foley. Well, you're right about that altitude up here, Don.
And you stay with it long enough.
He's been into organics too long.
Out of Mother Nature's own garden. Now, you name it, and you can take it home.
It'd be hard to love if you were its mother. First and 10. Redskins 36. They are moving out of a stacked tee now. Motioning there is John McDaniel. The handoff is Harmon, and Harmon finds an opening on the left side and moves out over the 45, close to the 49-yard line. Gain of 8. It'll be 2nd down and 2.
Nothing real flashy before they're moving that ball down the field.
Harmon,
very good first down yardage gain there. This is a critical series of possessions for the Redskins. They've got to get back in. With Denver to have scored first with Denver's defense and the Redskin injuries on offense, they'd be in deep trouble.
From the tight tee, once again, Harmon just thrusting up the middle. He runs into Don Latimer, and they're in the short yardage defense. Bob Nairn closing down from his linebacker position.
Latimer at 6'2", 266. It says, I'll bet you he's closer to 276.
He has a little bit of an ornery streak in him, too. Short of the first down. President of what? There he is.
I don't want the job.
Trouble start here in Denver. Brought him in. He was named #1. Has really not hit the stride that he showed a couple of years ago when he replaced Richard Todd with the Jets. Meanwhile, on the field, Joey Theismann with the 3rd down, less than a yard to go for the first. Wilbur Jackson. Jackson with a good, strong, stiff arm down the sidelines. He's not been out of bounds.
Oh,
He'll take it in. As you see so often, 3rd and short. It was Wilbur Jackson who fought off Maurice Harvey at the line of scrimmage, sprinted in, 45 yards. The Redskins go out on top.
That's the biggest play the Redskins have had this year. It came at a telling moment for them. Now, low-angle look. Don, you take it.
Well, the key is you can break one tackle, and the tackle he breaks is right here, and that's Harvey, who's filling in tonight. And Wilbur did a good job. This is a good move right here. He had only one guy. That's awfully tough in a downfield position. But once again, Thompson had a shot at him, too.
I'll tell you, he put a move on Bill Thompson, a 12-year veteran. Thompson knew he was the last man. He could not even get a hand on Wilbur Jackson. Jackson going 45 yards. Mosley, with the conversion.
A brand new ball game, 10-10.
We've got a new one. It's tied at 10. Wilbur Jackson, first year as a Redskin, 45 yards.
That run by Jackson was the way he used to run when he played for the Big Bear at Alabama. In 78, as you look at it again, Wilbur had knee surgery. And he turned to coming out of the backfield to receive those passes I told you about earlier. Harvey made a mistake, Don.
Yeah, he really did.
He went high on Jackson instead of low.
Didn't use his arms at all. Tried to hit his, knock him off balance, and Jackson is
that was
rather
the key
powerful
to the play.
Yeah.
You're right on, though, Howard. He never really came back from that knee surgery. He had 2 800-yard years out there with San Francisco, and then last year, coming back from that knee, only 375 yards. But he has got the Redskins back in this ball game as Craig Morton hands off to Jim Jensen. Jensen out over the 10 to the 12. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Shows you how right Red Miller was to try to get the 3 points that he got when he put Morton in, and Steinfurt got the 57-yard field goal. Little things.
Little things. He actually went to Craig a little earlier than I thought he would tonight. He still had the lead, but he was trying to get some more points, more action.
10:22 remaining here in the third quarter. We're tied at 10. It's second down and 7. Craig Morton changing off, as he is more apt to do than the young quarterback, Matt Robinson. And off to Jim Jensen, another former Dallas Cowboy, as is Craig Morton. Jensen traded here and before the 77 season. He didn't play hardly at all that year. Missed all of 78 with a knee operation. Had a 400-yard year a year ago, and of course, it started this year with John Keyworth on the injured reserve list for Denver.
That last call of Craig's did not endear him to some of your Bronco Mania friends.
Well, Frank said he checked off, and he probably did, but he might have should have left the one he had on.
Yes.
Gain of 1, third down 6. Ball at the 13-yard line. Morton, he'll go down at the 2-yard line. Coy Bacon there first.
Flag down.
37-year-old Coy Bacon. Started out 68, rather 67, but he got a flag downfield now.
It was thrown kind of late, Frank. I can only guess is either maybe that illegal hit that we were talking about earlier. Defensive back really has to be careful when those receivers come down the field past the 5-yard marker.
And the indication by Jensen to the Denver bench is there's going to be a holding call going against the Redskins, and that'll give the Broncos a first down.
That is the break Denver needed. They simply must begin to get some offense. Meantime, Bacon is giving Studdard fits.
He, as we mentioned earlier, Studdard has not been in the best of graces with the head coach. He has been complaining about Dave most of the year, but he has played very well in the past, and I assume that they're hoping he'll maintain that level. All right, what do we got here, guys?
We'll be getting the call from referee Fred Plant.
Illegal contact, number 23. First down.
Contact against Tony Peters, as we mentioned earlier. He's in there tonight in place of Ken Houston. And that gets the Broncos a first down. And it moves them out to their 18-yard line. Quick count. Morton hands off to Jensen. Jensen turns the corner out over the 20-yard line to the 23-yard line. Gain of 5. It'll be second and 5. Neil Okowitz, another one of those injured Redskins, coming back. Played well against Philadelphia a week ago, but he had been out for the 4 previous games. Luke
Prestridge practicing punting, which in and of itself connotes a defensive attitude.
Well, always be ready, though. You never can tell.
How about our cameraman down there lying on his tummy?
Let's not talk about it, Frank.
Second and 5. Armstrong, big opening. He has the first down after the 32. Mark Murphy saved a lot of yardage by the stop.
I wondered when he was going to call Armstrong. He picked the right time.
Well, he did, and a I don't see really anything different from the offense that Craig is running than the offense that Matt was running, except they seem to be responding maybe a little bit better. I mean, talk about the plays. They're calling basically the same kind of plays.
I think that's fair. Armstrong, as I said, with a good chance for a 100-yard night.
Good block by Glenn Hyde, who's replaced Tom Glassick at guard. Hyde blocking against Washington's Coy Bacon. Denver now with the ball at the 33-yard line. Inside handoff to Armstrong. This play's been working all night. Armstrong out over the 35, close to the 38. Another gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
You could make a pretty good guess at that, too, with another audible, a change of plays at the line of scrimmage. You saw Armstrong had a little hesitation in that lineup. They almost ran that one down, too. They had 1 second left on the 30-second clock before that one got off.
Another 5 yards there in Steinport's range.
That's about true. Steinport, in case you weren't with us, hit one from 57 yards out before the half. Morton. Jensen short of the first down. Just over the 41-yard line. It'll be 3rd and short yardage. Wide World of Sports, college football coming Saturday. On 3rd and short, and Armstrong hurdles out to the 45-yard line. He has a Denver first down.
He's having an all-time Armstrong game. No question about it.
Oh, a good move in there by Paul Howard, Claudia Miner, and Bill Bryan, the center, made a good cutoff block. Had a good lead block also by Jensen.
Sutter has come out of there, left tackle offensively for the Broncos. The #1 draft pick of a couple of years ago, Kelvin Clark from Nebraska, is in there left tackle. He wears number 73 for the Broncos. Play action by Morton on 1st and 10. Upchurch is open. Upchurch has the football at the 20-yard line. Rick Upchurch working against Joe Lavender, and he had turned Lavender around. He was wide open.
Little things, Don. You look back, the mistake by Tony Peters. Denver was dead on this whole series. We look at it again.
Go ahead. Just a pretty good throw. Craig threw it a little bit behind it, but Frank hit it. He had Lavender turned around. You see, Upchurch had to wait a little bit. One of the things I think that helped make this play go, of course, they've been able to run the ball a little bit.
But Peters doesn't make the mistake. Washington gets the ball back.
Morton going to Upchurch, as he did last week, and moving the football into field goal position against the Cleveland Browns. The 1st and 10. Handoff is to Armstrong. Another opening, and Armstrong is inside the 15-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. And about 4. The ball will be marked right at the 15. 5:06 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's all tied at 10, and Denver is moving.
And Otis Armstrong, carrying 15 times, now has 84 yards.
Greg Morton. Plays coming in from the sideline. He has the authority to change plays if he so wishes. 2 wide receivers. Upchurch. Moses to the right, but the call is Armstrong again, and Armstrong bangs to the 10, close to the first down. Lavender at the bottom of that pile for Washington.
Offensive unit gains so much confidence when they can go on a drive like this, starting really from, I guess, their 20-yard line. They've moved it down very consistently, have not really been in trouble in any 3rd and long situations. They said, hey, we can do a lot of things down here. They're now really getting down where, I guess they came up a little short that time. Are they going to measure? I believe they will.
As they bring out the yard lines, we'll remind you, this drive started at the 8-yard line. They've used 10 plays. They had a great deal of help from an illegal chuck on a 3rd down that gave them a first down out at their own 20. Short by inches. Greg Morton glances over to the sidelines as we look at Jack Pardee. And now Red Miller of the Broncos.
Now they don't want a mistake. They don't want a fumble. They don't want an intercept. Almost unfailingly, Frank, on these long drives, there is a tendency to make the critical mistake that will turn the ball over.
Greg is a veteran. He'll step into that huddle. He'll say, let's don't hold, guys. Stay on side. We've got it motoring. Let's keep it together.
The old play action.
3rd and inches. Morton
took it to the power.
speed and agility. of a man half his age, hurdles over for the first down. Craig really turned this city on when he came in '77 with Red Miller. They picked him up from the Giants. Promptly took Denver to the Super Bowl.
You said in the first half he came up in 35. Rather in 65. Looking at him, I thought it was 35.
Oh, come on.
But coming up that same year, Joe Willie Namath, a fellow named Munster, Jerry Rome. Where are they now?
Well, let's see. Craig is right here in Denver. Old Curly.
Rome is coach in Seattle.
The 1st and 10 is outside the 10, so Denver could conceivably get a first down. Armstrong banged at the line of scrimmage.
I agree with Talkington, Don. This situation, you're in that close, first down, pass.
Big Dave Butts. Okay. Bristling up there for the Washington Redskins.
It's awfully tough because that one, of course, you're getting that real goal line defense. Most teams have it broken down where they have an offense specifically designed for this particular play, and a pass is certainly one of the options that they have.
6 minutes have expired in this drive. This is the 13th play. 2nd down and 9. Martin will put it in the air.
Look at him over there.
Wide open, out of the end zone and incomplete. Riley Odoms, we told you he was playing hurt tonight. Tony Peters back there defensively got himself lined up. And it will be 3rd down and 9.
I think had the ball been released just a little quicker, I can't really tell where Peters touched it or not. Good throw. It's right on the money. But gave that defense, actually, that hit his hands too, didn't it?
I think Peters got a finger on it.
Yeah.
Odoms would have tucked that one away.
That was right on the money.
Tony Peters again in there tonight for Ken Houston. Houston, of course, a 14-year veteran.
Even Moses is out there kind of by himself right now.
Getting single coverage from Lamar Parrish. And Martin goes out to Jensen. Jensen has the ball at the 5-yard line. It'll be 4th down and 5. Call it 4th and 4, that is. Monty Coleman was all over Jensen, and he really rained on him on the sidelines.
And that's going to cut their running back core to actually only 2 healthy ones.
That's
if he
right.
happens to be
If he's
hurt.
out there in still deeper trouble. Now they're in bad enough trouble. They got to go for the field goal.
You mentioned Rob Lytle, who we've seen play. They also have Lawrence McCutcheon, who they got from the
And that's
Rams.
it. That's all they have.
That's it.
He's a flat disappointment.
Well, he's not doing what they would like for him to. You're right. McCutcheon has had that kind of career where he's had some great games, great years in L.A. and had a pretty bad injury. They did make it back from there.
Jensen comes back to the huddle. Apparently he's all right, but they'll give him a little break as Steinfort comes out with the field goal unit. Steinfort, 11 of 13 attempts this year. He had one blocked against Cleveland, as we mentioned earlier. He missed the 73-yard attempt up in New England. This will be a 23-yard attempt. And Steinfort, full of confidence, having a great year, puts it through, unties this football game. Denver over Washington, 13-10. 2:22 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and we'll be back. Mile High Stadium. Frank Ippert with Howard Cosell. Don Meredith got him out of the parking lot early enough for tonight's game.
I sure do appreciate that, too. Supermarket parking lots. That's what I are.
You're going to be a Kansas City disc jockey yet.
Kansas City Star.
Mike Nelms awaiting the kickoff of Fred Steinfort. Former Boston College kicker nails it down to the goal line, and here comes Nelms. Nelms with some nifty running and battling gets out over the 25. 27-yard return. Another one of those Canadians that Bobby Bentler picked up. He was a good defensive back up there as well.
That special unit, though, the Redskins, we've talked about them so many times, but they really are active. Everybody's hitting somebody. Nobody's standing around, and that's really what it takes.
Red Miller made that point at lunch.
He sure did.
He said, I don't care who's coaching Washington. They have got great special teams.
He said that's what they felt he should do. If we could just stay even with them on the special teams, we were in good shape.
That's first down is at the 26-yard line. Jackson 40, Harmon 38, the setbacks, and here comes Jackson. Got a helping block from Clarence Harmon. Moves for 5 out to the 30. It'll be second down and 5. Reuben Carter sliding in under there.
He made a good move, Frank. Reuben Carter made a good move coming from that middle to fall back out to the outside and hold that one down to a fairly short gain.
Rick Upchurch, the game breaker, caught the long pass. Hi, Rick, from Craig Morton. But still, Miller has to be disappointed. They kept the ball 14 plays, 8 minutes, 37 seconds, had to settle for a field goal. Here's Gibb.
Washington stays with their stack tee. Jackson out over the 35 to the 36-yard line. He'll be close to a first down as Rob Nairn made the stop defensively for Denver.
Jackson looks to be coming back to something like his former self. He is a driving back now. That 45-yard sprint for the touchdown will undoubtedly give him great confidence, or renewed confidence.
It had to be a big help. Meanwhile, the yardage is not sufficient to require a measurement. It's still less than a yard for the Redskins. Ball just over the 35-yard line. Harmon hurdles forward. He has the first down easily. One would have to suspect that a very courageous Randy Gradishar might have met that had he been a 100% football player, but we told you that he is playing very painful torn rib cartilage tonight, wearing the flak jacket, and he's one of the best in the business. This game has featured long possessions by both these teams.
I think it reflects the maturity that Theismann has acquired as a quarterback. He is not giving the ball away. He's making very sure about that. At the same time, he may be cutting back on some of his many skills.
First and 10, Theismann play action. Fires a beautiful pass that Art Monk did not hold on at the 45-yard line of Denver. Clock stopped on the incompletion with 5 seconds. And you were talking about, Joe, as we look at Art Monk, he got out from underneath the shadow of Billy Kilmer a year ago, Don, and that really gave him a lot of confidence. He was the second leading passer a year ago.
Ball was a little bit behind him, but there were 4 big orange jerseys all around him out there, and I think probably Joe threw that one maybe to the only place that was open to him.
This will be the final play of the third quarter. It's Denver on top 13-10 over Washington. Here comes Jackson. He finds an opening, and Jackson out to the 47-yard line. He gets 5. It'll be third down and 5. Tom Jackson in there on the stop. That's the end of the third quarter. The score is Washington 10, Denver 13. We'll return for more action in the fourth quarter in a moment. Part of a paid attendance crowd of over 74,000 who helped the National Football League to a new attendance record, in-stadium attendance record this weekend of 898,000, surpassing the previous record high set a year ago, November the 12th, 1979. And a big third down play for the Washington Redskins. There's third down and 5, the ball at their own 43.
There's a story in that attendance record somewhere.
Theismann gets out of trouble. He can run for it, and he does, stepping out of bounds when he gets beyond the marker, stopping the clock as he trips out at about the 47-yard line.
You said a mouthful when you said it was a big third down play. The third quarter statistics.
Boy, I'll tell you something. He miscalculated that.
He did.
What happened? The yard marker man pulled the yard marker out to avoid any kind of an injury. Theismann could have gone ahead easily for the first. He misread it, and he comes up short.
You are right. And you're still right. It was a big third down play, and it turned out to be a big play for Denver.
And that's a mouthful.
You know that Joe Theismann, an experienced quarterback that he is, has got to be really upset as he talks to offensive coordinator Joe Walton. But when they pulled that yard marker out, Theismann misjudged it and came up short by a yard. Mike Connell comes on to punt. Rick Upchurch drops for Denver to his 12-yard line. Connell, high, short, Upchurch, fair catch at the 23.
you see how immediately Upchurch called that
he knew
exactly.
Exactly.
That man, number 80, knows where he is at all times. 31-yard punt. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Mile High Stadium, 14:44 remaining in this football game. The Denver Broncos 2-3 in this young NFL season, trailing the San Diego Chargers, who are 4-2. And the Broncos have a 1st and 10 following a short punt by Mike Connell. The ball at the Broncos 23. Lawrence McCutcheon, number 33, in relief. Jim Jensen is in the backfield now for the Broncos. McCutcheon, with those great years with the Rams, came in a trade this year. This is Otis Armstrong. Armstrong ahead close to the 25-yard line for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The third quarter stats, the team's almost even in time of possession and even in yardage. Accurately, the score is reflected in those statistics. A tough, tight 13-10 ball game, Denver leading.
More Mile High happiness.
Yeah, there he goes. It just seems to rub off on you.
2nd down, long 8. This is McCutcheon. McCutcheon tries to pull free of Carl Lorch's grasp. Does not do so, but moves up for about a 3-yard pickup. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Obviously, you're looking at Lorch there. Obviously, what Denver desperately wants to do is mount a time-consuming drive. So this is critical for them. What did it say? My mom thinks you are white.
You are sexy.
Yeah, then down my mom thinks you're sexy.
Go to Susan. Yeah. On 3rd and 5, Morton. And Morton will go down. Hustling in there with Perry Brooks. Perhaps the best of the pass rushing Redskins. He comes in on passing situations. He'll move back out. Trading during the course of the game with Darren Talbot.
May not be true at all, but I had a feeling that this drive was going to be important to Denver. They had a long drive, didn't make it. You just saw overpowered. Craig didn't move at all, but it didn't have anybody open down there to throw it to either.
Denver clinging to a 3-point lead here in the 4th quarter. Luke Prestridge on to punt for the Broncos, and Mike Nelms stations himself at his own 40-yard line. And here comes the special unit of the Redskins. They lead the league in these departments. And a flag goes down as Nelms is taken out of bounds at the 47-yard line. 51-yard punt.
A great boot, but a good return and great field position for Washington, depending upon the penalty call.
And it looks to be a clip. I would, if we could, maybe we can see that again, because you talk about the special teams, and they either have, they either go try to block it or they try to come back and set one up. That one was a setup trying to return that one all the way. And you saw that whole left defensive side of the Redskin line just peel back, and they've got good speed to come back down here. Had the ball not been kicked so close to the sideline, that's just, they see the left side of this line, the defensive line. Are they taking an initial hit, trying to slow down the offense, and here they start peeling off to the outside. The ball really was kicked in a position that the Redskins would not like it. He has no place to go except for that sideline.
Rich Malott was detected with the clip for the Redskins. They are moved back to their 32-yard line. That's where they'll begin when we return in a moment. In Bronco land is a Bronco lead, and that's the story at the moment. But the Redskins have field position, 32-yard line, and they have been moving the football. Eric Theismann, a 52% plus passer this far this year. Of course, the quarterback, and he hands off to Wilbur Jackson, who's taken by big Don Latimer, the nose guard in there now defensively for the Denver Broncos. Broncos moving in and out of a 3-man front and a 4-man front.
Latimer did an excellent job of playing off his block. He's so big, we've spoken of him earlier, but he just moved around, was able, tall enough, big enough to reach over to kind of hold him down.
2nd down and 8. Broncos into a 4-man front. Theismann is blasted there by Greg Boyd, his 2nd sack of the night.
And when Theismann misjudged the yard marker on that earlier play that you described, Frank, He went over complaining to Walton about Greg Boyd bothering him on that play. Boyd is busting through.
Hermeling, you see, gets his feet tied up, number 75, loses his balance. That opens the door for Boyd, and man, does he come through.
In defense of Terry Hermeling, he also is playing hurt tonight. Very sore knee. That's the story for these Redskins. They are a patched-up football team.
It looked like that, Frank. It looked like he just had his balance just knocked off from under. Didn't have two good legs to stand on.
7-yard loss. 3rd down, 17 for Theismann, and they want timeout. Joe Theismann moves over to the Washington bench as the Denver Bronco capacity crowd is cheering their defensive unit. They have 3 sacks. They only had 4 coming into tonight. Joe Theismann comes back out onto the field. 11:40 remaining in the football game. 3rd down, 17 for Theismann, and Denver, who was unable to generate any kind of a pass rush in the previous 5 games. They have 3 sacks on a very elusive Joe Theismann tonight.
I was surprised with his yardage. 59 yards passing.
Theismann.
That could be more.
So quickly to Clarence Harmon. Denver was giving up the yardage. They gave up too much as Harmon gets the 1st down. And Denver was going to give them the short pass. Clarence Harmon turned the short pass into a 1st down for Washington over the 45.
That is, without question, the biggest play up to this point in the game for Washington, even including Jackson's 45-yard sprint for the touchdown. They were in an impossible situation, Don.
Well, they were in a situation where you certainly expected them not to make a 1st down. It is this kind of defensive mistake that Frank was talking about. They just gave him too much ground, and get a guy like Harmon, and he's going to make he picked up some extra yards for you.
Until this year, Denver never did that.
Frank Harmon gets the call inside Denver territory for a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. So I'm going to take this moment as we watch the Washington Redskins offensive unit move down the field. They're a pretty classy bunch of guys. They have a troubled teammate at the moment, Harold Tank McClinton, 10 years, middle linebacker for this football team, seriously injured in an accident a little over a week ago, fighting for his life. This team has set up a Harold McClinton trust fund. They've all contributed a sizable sum of money. That, of course, meaningless because this was one of the fine men you'll know, and he's battling for his life right now. But these Skins have set up the Harold McClinton trust fund for their former teammate. On 2nd down and 6, Wilbur Jackson over the right side, and he has another Washington 1st down, and you begin to smell something with the Redskins offense. They're moving.
I don't want to distract from this game either, but what you said is bigger than any game about Tank McClinton. He was struck down by a driver. He was in the act of helping a woman at the time on the road and struck down. The driver turned himself in the next day. Other teams in Washington, other sports teams, are joining in, and Tank had to undergo amputation of one leg below the knee. It's just a tragic thing, and when it happened, the response of the entire sports community of Washington, D.C. has to be one of the most heartwarming things that we have ever encountered. We all pray for Harold Tank McClinton.
Wilbur Jackson, you saw, shaken up on that play. Nevertheless, he gets down to the 41-yard line. 1st down, Redskins. 9:50 and the clock is started as Jackson is assisted from the field. Jackson leaves the game with 90 yards, 45 of them coming on a touchdown sprint on a 3rd and short that put life into the Redskins. Hammond in motion. Theismann rolling out. Going to Hammond. Bill Thompson misses, and Hammond gets inside the 30-yard line. He'll have another Washington 1st down, stopping the clock with 9:29.
In the recent years, you would never see the Denver defense give up this kind of yardage. A loose tackle by Bill Thompson, a great veteran. As Frank noted, this is just not defensive football the way the Broncos have played it.
It's really 2 for Thompson. Thompson was the guy, the last man that on the Wilbur Jackson touch
sprint.
Yeah.
That's right.
They mark it at the 34-yard line. 1st and 10. Theismann doing a surgical job on the Denver Bronco defense. Remember, a short while ago, he had a 3rd and 17. This is Clarence Harmon in a wide open field. And Harmon driven out of bounds by Steve Foley.
That was a fun play. That was a delay back to the weak side with really out a great deal of blocking. It's the old takeoff or influence play. You'll see him roll a little bit to his right, set. He's got nobody over there blocking. That entire line goes off trying to influence the defense, which it did. They're great readers. They try to read which way that play is going. Almost picked up a first down. Was that a good solid 8 yards?
They'll give him that. They call it second down and a long 2. They mark it at the 21-yard line. Bronco fans shouting defense, defense. Fake reverse, and Theismann stays with it and gives it off to Harmon. Harmon drops it.
Oh, no.
And there's a scramble. I believe Denver has the football down around the 7-yard line.
Bless his heart.
That's just so often face on a drive like this, as I said earlier.
That was Bill Thompson coming up with the football.
You can't have that mistake.
It's just so unfortunate, too, because Harmon's been really a key in this whole drive. A good fake right there in the inside. A little fake pitch out. Reverse. He comes back, throws it to Harmon. He's got the ball in good shape. Slips down, trying to come up. Just can't hold on to it. You really hate to see that happen to any athlete. Big turnover.
And Bill Thompson redeemed himself somewhat, coming up with the football. Denver will have possession at their own 7 when we come back. That's what it looks like from the end zone.
Hi, guys.
But looks good from up here to me.
What city are we? What time zone?
Let's see. We're in Denver.
I don't know how you would ever know, Coach, where you have been. Well, less than 2 weeks ago, London, Las Vegas, all over the lot for the National League coverage. Meanwhile, Denver has the football at their own 7-yard line. Morton hands off to Big Jim Jensen, trying to get breathing room out from the shadow of their goal line, moving out to the 8-yard line. Gain of 1. Coy Bacon defensively and Dave Butts. And we have a flag down, indicated against the Broncos. Second down and 9. Penalty declined. Lawrence McCutcheon. And McCutcheon coughs it up, and there's not even Redskins around the football.
Got to be a Redskins turnover right there. Oh, man.
And turnabout is fair play.
That was almost high schoolish. It really was. To see that play. So slow and unfolding. And what a bad call.
Neil Okowitz, the recovery for the Redskins.
You got to feel badly for McCutcheon, who is not having one of his better years. He's out to the outside. He's just come in because of an injury.
It was Mark Murphy who knocked it away.
And Mark hit him pretty good, didn't he?
Yeah, but he carried that ball like you saw. It was ridiculous. And what a time to have McCutcheon in the game.
Everybody else is hurt.
Redskins are down by 3, and they're threatening to change that. Harmon and Bill Theismann goes right back to Clarence Harmon, the man who had coughed it up to the Broncos at the 7-yard line just moments ago. Greg Boyd defensively on the stop.
Under any circumstances, they should come out of this with a field goal. That's the man who recovered it.
And he's just recently become healthy.
Olkowicz, number 52, free agent, Maryland. Right close by the D.C. area, discovered by Bobby Bett.
Here's a good chance for us to look at what you're talking about, the Denver's goal line or short yardage defense. They got to have it right now. Let's see if they've got enough of the walking wounded to pull it together.
Second and goal, and this is Jackson, and Jackson gives Rob Nairn a ride down to the 1. Robert Jackson running with authority tonight. Last year, San Francisco coming off that knee surgery, had only 375 yards. And he looks as though he's gained a great deal of confidence.
He really does, Frank. He's driving the way he used to.
You know, I think maybe we were talking about it at a commercial, but I think it takes about a year. I think, Frank, you mentioned this. You've had a knee injury. It takes a little while to get used to that, coming back and say, hey, okay, this thing's still okay. I can play.
Wilbur's got 104 yards on the night. The graphic we just showed.
On third and goal, and Theismann hangs it up in the corner. Art Monk is there, touchdown, and the rookie from Syracuse makes a spectacular catch, working against Steve Foley.
And what a great call by whoever called it. Joe Walton, I don't care. Theismann can execute. The difference here tonight is in the quarterbacks, as it so often is, at least up till now.
I would certainly say this is an unusual call. I like to see it, but what a catch. Look at the ball. This ball's up there. Now, this is your rookie that you were talking about. Really goes high for it. Got a lot of concentration. You see Foley's right there, but that's a good touchdown. You know, you'd think that in that situation, at least they might even try to run twice. They had less than a yard to go.
And that brings up Mark Mosley for the conversion attempt. He drills it through, and the Redskins are on top. For the first time tonight, the Redskins have the lead. The 1-4 Redskins. We're trying to catch up with the Philadelphia Eagles, when the Dallas Cowboys in their division have the lead with 7:30 remaining. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here at Mile High Stadium. The Washington Redskins have assumed the lead. Fumble by Lawrence McCutcheon at the 5-yard line. Joey Theismann hitting Art Monk, the rookie #1 draft pick from Syracuse, for the score that put the Redskins on top. Larry Brunson awaiting the kickoff of Mark Mosley. With much respect, Mosley, who has not been accurate in the field goal department thus far this year, nevertheless can kick it awfully high and long. Mosley clubs Brunson into the end zone, and he'll bring it out. And Brunson flies out over the 20-yard line to the 21. And let's take a look at Joe Theismann's reaction when Art Monk came down with the football.
That's Mr. and Ms. Theismann's baby boy, Joe Theismann, and he loved it.
I like that kid.
He is a real competitor. He's out there.
I worked with him in the Superstars a year ago.
Quality
He is
kid,
a
isn't
good,
he?
fine athlete and a fine person.
He is a competitor, boy, I'll tell you. In those Superstar events, Joe tried to win them all, man. He really did.
And he came close.
He did.
Now a field goal won't do it for Denver. They've got to get a touchdown. They haven't shown offensive capacity.
Martin bombing for Upchurch. It'll be overthrown.
That had to be a miscommunication. Upchurch made his move to the inside. Craig threw it as a long post. Upchurch thought he was coming in about 30 yards. He did. I saw that. I mean, he did. He saw it. There's a flag down there.
There is a flag down, and there's a discussion at the line of scrimmage.
Oftentimes you can think,
Washington.
well, that's lucky.
That is lucky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're down. You've got to have yourself a good drive. The first thing they do is try to, throw a bomb to Upchurch. That's asking almost too much too soon. They have not had anything really sustained except for the one drive that's called.
Contact, number 59, defense, first down.
There you go. Brad Dusick called for the Redskins. It'll be 1st and 10. The ball now out of the 26.
And you don't have to panic and try and make the touchdown on one play. You got 7 minutes plus.
Play action by Morton. Trying to hold the backers. Morton goes to Riley Odoms. He has the first down at the 39-yard line. And the big man, playing as so many football players do, in pain, with that sore shoulder, gets the first for Denver.
That was also a good throw by Craig that time. Stepped up under some pressure. Riley Odoms is his guy, but what's this time? He gets, I think, this Larch that comes in from the outside. Rob Lytle, 41. Here's Larch. Gets a little shove to the outside. Craig feels the pressure. He knows it's there. As you basically say, a semi-sidearm to Riley Odoms for a first down.
They mark it at the 39-yard line. Seconds ticking now. Now we're inside 7 minutes remaining in the game. Denver down 13 to 17, and handoff is Otis Armstrong, and Armstrong finds more yardage over the right side. A pickup of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1.
I realize it's easy to sit up here and second guess.
Oh, it's not either.
But one wonders about the method of using Armstrong. Suddenly, for a whole quarter, you don't hear him. You don't see him getting the call.
I wonder if they're trying to protect the few healthy backs that they have. Surely they wouldn't be thinking about that, would they?
Quite well taken. They have really slim ranks in the running back department. 2nd and 1. Armstrong gets the first down at the 47-yard line. Denver on the move. Neil Okowitz made the stop.
Well, he now has a 100-yard gain. He's at 102 yards. Jackson's at 104 for Washington.
17 to 13. Denver needs the touchdown. They do not need the field goal.
That's their problem in a nutshell.
They have had problems putting touchdowns on the scoreboard this year. Their scoring has been mainly the efforts of Fred Steinfort. 1st and 10. Armstrong. Just rolling ahead for 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Coy Bacon in on the stop defensively.
By the way, this is Otis's first 100-yard game since 1977, Frank.
Well, they had him alternating for so many years, and if I were a running back, I'll tell you, I just wouldn't like that alternating. You just don't get the feel of the game. It'd be like alternating quarterbacks every other play, and Otis comes out to an ovation. 2nd down, 6.
Upchurch up top.
Norton. And he finds a receiver. It's Rob Lytle. Lytle has the first down at the 33, and it was fortunate the referee did not blow the sack because Morton was in the grasp of the Redskins.
That's true, and it was a great play by Craig Morton.
Yeah, good concentration. Because he's not, you know, Craig knows better than anybody. He's not going to move around there too much, so he needs some help. That's Bacon that has him right there. He didn't really have him.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. That was a good show. He was there, and that's Rob Lytle coming in. Is it Rob's knee that's hurt, Frank? I forget.
He has a very sore knee. Had surgery on it 2 years ago. It's sore once again. Here comes Armstrong to the 31-yard line. Gain of 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. At 3:48, the clock moving.
That's almost a case of going to the well too often. They've been running that play off this right side several times. That time, if you run it enough, they're going to finally defend it.
You keep putting Tug McGraw in every day, and he finally can't get a guy out either.
Yeah, they finally win.
Nobody's perfect.
What a sensational series. I love that. I had so much fun watching baseball. I ate more popcorn this last week, I think, than I have in my life. I sit there at the house watching that, eating popcorn, drinking iced tea. What can I tell you?
2nd down, 9. Morton has Upchurch wide open.
He sure does.
Touchdown.
He's got him.
Morton almost couldn't find him. Upchurch was open for 20 yards.
He was.
Morton was in trouble. He finally picked him up and drilled it.
Frank, that was the strangest thing. Murphy was following by 10 yards. Upchurch is there. You can just throw it. I couldn't believe it.
He did throw it. And what a great thing to see a veteran come back against the excellence of the young quarterback, Theismann, who had been dominating, and drive his team downfield. And it took him 4 minutes to do it.
And maybe they should have used more time because there's 3:08 remaining, and Theismann has the Washington offense in gear. Morton, 6 of 8, 108 yards. Upchurch, 5 receptions, 93 yards. Here's Steinfort for the conversion. 75,000 Bronco fans cheer the efforts of Craig Morton and Rick Upchurch.
Now, this is an old-time Monday night football game.
Oh, it is.
Good to have it back.
Little quick fake. That was Lytle going to the outside. You see Craig move a little bit there. He's getting some pressure on the inside.
Oh, he can zip that ball, can he?
Well, he can. You know, Craig really does have a good arm, and he throws the ball real well. But the main thing is that he waited long enough, picked the guy open, got him a touchdown.
Curley is once again the fireman. We'll be back. Mile High Stadium is rocking as the fans collectively on their feet, stomping, cheering their favorites on. The Broncos back on top, 20-17. Mike Nelms is deep, awaiting the kick of Fred Steinfort. It's a 3:08 remaining.
And it's a 3.5 on the Richter scale.
It feels that way. The fans are really into it. Whoops. That was Wilbur Jackson having trouble with it. And now it's going to be marked at the 1-yard line.
Oh, bless his heart.
Jackson touched that football. That goes out at the 1.
That was the tragedy for the Redskins. Jackson touching the football.
One of those really unfortunate mistakes. It was not I don't think that was the kind of kick that Steinfort was trying to do. Maybe so.
Wait a minute now. Dandy, wait a minute.
All right, what?
Wild debate down in the field, of course.
It appeared to me that he touched it. Now, does he have to have possession before it goes? What do you? No, he just can touch it.
That's all. They're claiming now he didn't touch it.
Oh, he touched it. He did not. And if he did not, then there will be a penalty of 5 yards, and they'll kick from the 30.
You got to be kidding.
I think maybe we should immediately get a ruling from Chubb Feeney, the president of the National League.
Absolutely. Well, it's certainly going to be played under protest. They're saying he did not touch it. Is that what they're saying?
That's it.
Yeah. Referee Fred Wyatt will take the ball.
You know, for Wilbur
Back to
Jackson,
the 30-yard line, 5-yard penalty.
for Wilbur Jackson's sake, I hope he didn't touch it.
Hard to say.
I'll say this, if he touched it, he sure didn't mean to.
Do we have another angle?
Wait a minute.
The legal procedure indicated against Denver, that refers, of course, to the ball going out of bounds.
That might be your big play of the night right there.
That very well.
Yeah, not the pass to Harmon for the first down. I think that was it. They would have had 99 yards to go in 3 minutes and 2 seconds. Wilbur just told Harmon, he says, I hope they don't kick it to me this time.
All right, Steinfurt will boot it again. This will be Nelms at the goal line. Mike Nelms. Nelms finds a little gap. He gets out to the 30, so Joe Theismann will have field position from the 30, 2:52 remaining on the clock. Washington has 2 timeouts.
He just picked up 29 yards on that kick.
And that Nelms is a nifty little runner. He finds space where you don't think there is any.
And Wilbur Jackson says, I'm not supposed to be returning kicks anyway.
And Chubb Feeney has upheld Bill Burton's protest. Will resume in the Astrodome tomorrow. The World Series will not begin.
You're really weird, Howard.
Wait a minute. Orson Welles did that once. First and 10. Theismann. A flag. It's the big man, Art Monk. A flag is down. Monk has the first down out of the 48-yard line. Bill Thompson was all over Monk. Art Monk is beginning to show the reasons he was picked up as the #1 draft pick. Great record, All-American at Syracuse. Breaking all kinds of receiving records there. Here's the call.
Holding, number 58, declined, first down.
See, holding by Rob Nairn, declined because the Redskins moved the football on the reception out near midfield.
You're right about Monk. They're going to wind up using him the way Lenny Dawson used to use Otis Kelly.
I remember that.
You throw him the quick sideline hitch, let him break tackles, bang, bang, downfield.
Those are the great black and white films we see today, aren't they?
48-yard line, and Joe Theismann,
That's bad.
has to use a timeout. He'll move over to the sidelines, and that means Joe Theismann just has 1 timeout remaining. 2:43 remaining in the game. Washington down by 3. We'll be back. The man who could be on the spot to tie this game, sent it into overtime, Mark Mosley, came into tonight, all kinds of problems. He was 2 of 10 thus far before he came into tonight. He hit from 23 yards out earlier.
An unusually poor year for him.
He led the league in percentage, scoring, and everything a year ago. And
He's really a good kicker, so
he's been great in practice. He just has not been able to hit during the games. Redskins, first and 10. Ball at their own 48-yard line. Wilbur Jackson in motion. Clarence Harmon rolls forward, piled up right at midfield. The Redskins will now have to go with a hurry offense. They'd like to get a play in before the 2-minute warning. Matter of fact, they must. Here comes big Greg Boyd, who's been a pass rushing marvel for the Broncos tonight.
He has been a very influential factor in this ball game.
Big number 77 as the Broncos will drop into their 4-man front.
And Ricky Thompson just came in from the sideline. You see him, number 83 at the top of your screen. He's one of their clutch receivers, too.
Second and 8. Theismann on the bootleg. He wants Monk. Monk is open. Steps out of bounds. Kills the clock, but the 2-minute warning is already on the scoreboard.
Hey, you know, that was good coverage by Foley. Although the pass was completed, he had Monk, who's a real speedster. Theismann's out on the outside, and Foley had him there. All right, you see, this is a pretty good fake right here.
Good fake.
Hit the ball pretty well. Coming back out on the outside. Giselle was the guy that was there, but watch. Now Foley had to adjust. He's got to go with deep first. Came back, Monk got the ball.
And he also read that rollout. The Theismann-Monk connection gets another Redskin first down inside Denver's 40. Joe Theismann in the Washington Redskin huddle. Situation, 2 minutes remaining in the game. The Redskins are down by 3 to the Denver Broncos. The ball inside the Broncos 40-yard line, first down and 10.
7 come 11. Maybe need some new shoes.
This Denver crowd, the crescendo growing as they're exhorting their defensive Bronco football players to come up with the big play. Theismann, a delay back is Clarence Harmon. He has the ball, and the flag is down as Harmon rolled for 9 yards, and it's going to be a holding call against Washington.
You saw Big Barney Chavis. He was pointing fingers at someone.
Well, the delay cost the hold.
Jack Pardee
Does not like that. He said things weren't that way in Cristobal when we played six-man football, and Harmon is down. That doesn't look good either. He's had a good night for him. Very good.
shaken up twice tonight.
Just one fumble hurt him, and he's had a good night.
They talked about the problem.
Holding, number 74, offense.
That's George Stark, and like Terry Hermeling on the left side, Stark is playing with a very sore knee. He's back from having missed 3 games with a knee injury. Columbia boy who made good in the big leagues.
I think that's a good indication. Frank, we talked about Hermeling earlier, who's had an injury. So is Stark. It's kind of a tendency for those guys. They're not really in their top playing condition, so they're going to have a tendency to hold more than maybe some of the guys that have been there and stayed healthy all year.
That penalty will put the ball back at midfield, and Theismann will have a first and 20. Started to say the Redskins have had their own problems. Not only did John Riggins retire this year, he's probably watching out in Kansas. They have had lost Buddy Hardiman for a period of time. Ricky Platt, the rookie from Bethune-Cookman, is a very sore ankle. Rhett Miller is exercised on the sidelines. He really reminds me of Don Coryell a little bit, and how he gets into a football game. I like that.
I do, too. He's a very emotional, volatile fellow.
1:52. Redskins one timeout. First and 20. The short flip. It goes out to Don Warren.
Good play.
Warren. And another flag goes down, and another flag goes down. And Jackson of the Broncos is claiming that he was the man who was fouled.
I'm afraid not.
That play was set up very well. I don't know whether it was a missed defensive assignment.
Flipping.
That's it. That's a proper call. Unfortunately for the Redskins, but it's a proper call.
A good delay to that tight end. When you got a guy like Warren, he's got good speed. He stayed in the block, waited to the last minute. That's a delayed screen. It's just as good, sometimes better than.
We have a clip. Number 34.
Bobby Hammond clipping against Tom Jackson. Now the ball is back at the 45-yard line. The down remains the same, but it will be first down 25.
Sad part of that for the Redskins was it was a needless play.
That's true.
It was behind the play.
Exactly.
Pressure on. Joe Theismann. Hammond gets the call to the 49-yard line, trying to catch Denver, thinking nothing but pass, but he is taken there after a gain of a couple of meaningless play as Theismann tries to get his offense quickly to the line of scrimmage. He only has one timeout. Harmon with the 42, and Theismann again will try and get a play off, but the seconds ticking now. Down close to 1 minute remaining. 1 minute and 4 seconds, and the clock is moving. Third down, 13. Theismann has to think of the first down. Fires complete. And Art Monk tries to get to his feet, but he is nailed there quickly by Louis Wright.
Well, now it's up to Mosley, and he's got a long way to go. And he has that terrible record so far this year.
Here they go.
It will be an attempt of about 57 yards.
Now, wait time in now, Frank?
Well, I'll back it up. It'll be about 52 yards.
52. Now, this is definitely in his range.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
forget, we're at the Mile High Stadium in Denver.
Theismann the holder.
Could be overtime.
There's plenty of distance.
Didn't make it.
And off line. And the Broncos go crazy out on the field with 13 seconds remaining in the game.
Now that the game...
Look how close this field goal is. Plenty of distance. From here, it looks like it's going to go in. It has a slight little hook to it. Wait a minute. Look at that ball.
Last minute.
That is really cutting it close. It's what you call too bad for Washington.
Almost hitting the upright.
Yeah.
Mark Mosley wonders where it's all gone.
We said at the outset this Washington team is a better team than its record suggests. I think they proved it tonight.
I still don't know about Denver.
Neither do I.
I can't figure out what they, I know they've been hurt.
But they stay up there, Don, and they do it every year.
This is a game that was really important for them because right now they're only one game out of first.
The final seconds tick off, and Denver has set their record at 3-3. They're tied with Oakland and Seattle, trailing San Diego 4-2 in the Western Division of the AFC. And the Redskins, troubled throughout this young season with multiple injuries, have dropped a heartbreaker here at Mile High Stadium tonight, taking 2017. Mark Mosley, and no one feels it any more than Mark Mosley. We'll look again how close one can come in this game.
That's about as close as you can get, Shake. You got to figure that somebody or somewhere it's not the night for you.
From 52 yards out, Mosley misses an attempt that would have tied it up and put this game into overtime. And Craig Morton, coming off the bench, performing well in relief of Matt Robinson, has notched another come from the bullpen victory for the Denver Broncos.